everybody to What's Your Plan, our monthly educational program for our community, offering insight and information for folks who are aging well and who want to continue that way. So I'm going to share my little introductory screen for you guys. So I am Patricia Dubroof, and I'm the Director of Community Relations for Assisting Hands in Potomac, Maryland. We also serve Fairfax, Virginia. And Steve and Kathy started this business almost 10 years ago. We're having a great success out here, and we wanted to continue that by educating our community while providing the best possible care to our clients and offering a great workplace for our employees. We feel so strongly about that we're having a giant celebration Monday for Juneteenth. And we're really looking forward to celebrating freedom for all, because that's so important to what we do on this planet. And I'm happy to introduce our guest today, who is Thomas Franks. And Thomas is the founder and director for this alert company called Safe Guardian. And Thomas was actually started his career in the service. So it is a veteran-owned business. And you might know that Assisting Hands is a provider for veterans care for home care. And if you're a veteran listening to this and you need home care, we ask that you give us a call and we can help. So Thomas, how did this all start for you?
Well, do you want me to go back to when I was 18 or when I was,
you were young and
told,
formed.
Join us and you'll see the world. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on this morning. I was looking forward to talking with all the caregivers. Assisting Hands has been with Safe Guardian now for several years, and we love your organization and your mission, and we sync very well because our mutual goal is to keep seniors living at home independently and safely for as long as possible, and we definitely share that priority. Real quickly, I've been in this business 25 years now, served in the Marine Corps, but got out as a technician, went in to get college educated, which I did, but they came out and got to work in the alarm industry, and that kind of moved into security and then personal security. The home SOS help alert technology was kind of fell under that, learned the trade, learned the industry, and then one day I said, I think we can make this so it doesn't have to be installed by installers. We're just going to send it to folks. They can plug it in. It'll come pre-programmed, and we can do it nationwide. And we were the first company under the name Life Guardian to have a plug-and-play help system for seniors. Unfortunately, we can't really get a patent or trademark on that, so we were copied almost instantaneously by every other medical alarm company out there. But that's okay. It's about helping to blaze the trail to bring the technology to a world of seniors there, and there's so many that need it, and so we keep pressing along. We love the fact that we continue to blaze trails and be a company that focuses on senior SOS help buttons and fall alert systems that are simple to use, that are focused on the caregiver helping their seniors. One of the few companies that's not about just pressing a button and having the ambulance come up the street. We believe in the circle of care. We believe caregivers need the support to be involved with their seniors, and we think it's critical that they be kept in the loop at all times. So we've worked very diligently to come up with technology that does it, and the new technology is very exciting, and I'll try to compress
for a sec. Hang on for a sec. I want to ask you, most of our listeners love it when we tell them, when we just talk about this from a personal perspective. So let's make pretend I'm calling you as the daughter of a 95-year-old mom who's, feeling a little frail and is concerned about the fall. What if I fall? Because we all know now, statistics are there very clearly saying that, one fall, if you're seen, if you can get emergency care within the hour, it probably won't make that much difference in your general well-being. But if you have to be on the floor for 5, 10, 12, 24 hours, you could probably see a giant decline in your health in general. So here's mom. She wants to get this technology. How does she do it? Who does she call? What are you going to tell her? How does it work?
Well, we talk to folks all the time, every day, who say exactly that. I've got a family member, a loved one, whatever, um, that they're concerned about. And some may have a history of falls, some may not. But if they're concerned, they're probably a good reason to be concerned. They're getting tipsy, maybe they've had a couple close calls. And so the first thing we try to determine is how close is their circle of care? Do they have family members nearby? Do they have neighbors that can check on them? Do they, is there folks, responders that want to be in the loop? Our technology allows caregivers to be preset so that if the button's pressed or if a fall alert is triggered, that calls and text messages can go out to the circle of care, the caregivers themselves. They'll get immediate notification of a possible fall or of a button press. They
So
can,
with the little medallion, that's like on a neck bracelet, a necklace kind of thing, or you
yes.
have the watch. So if say they're, sitting on the sofa and the alarm itself falls on the floor, what happens then?
Well, our technology has a voice assist, and it would announce, it would say, you have activated your SOS button. And then say, press the SOS button to cancel. Same with a fall alert. If they drop it and the fall alert goes off, they can cancel simply by pressing the button. And no harm, no foul. Which
So
a lot of other,
basically it's like an intercom system. So
yes,
somebody is on the other line 24/7.
somebody can be, but usually it goes to the caregivers.
Okay, so how does that work? How does it get set up? How much technology do you have to know?
Well, we need basically a list of up to 5 caregivers and their phone numbers. And in the event of an activation, the device can text everybody on the contact list, and then it'll go down and try to reach care contact number 1, contact number 2, contact number 3. It's actually will place calls to those folks. And of course, the goal is for it to connect to somebody on the care list so they can talk to them, and it's hands-free. They don't have to do anything else. But then if, the idea being that, if they got a family member, son, daughter, neighbor, whatever, that can talk to them, they can say, that this, I've
Where
fallen,
are
but
you? Right.
where are you? Or in most cases, it's not an emergency. It's,
Mm.
well, I'm sitting on the floor, okay, or I dropped my pills all over the place. There's any number of many reasons why seniors need help that's not emergency help. And in fact, 85% of calls are not emergency calls
Hmm.
for most medical alarms. So it gives the senior a way of getting help without worrying that they're going to dispatch the paramedics, because they know it's not an emergency. And that way, people on the call list can be instantaneously informed that mom or dad or whoever needs some help, and they can also call into the device and say, "Mom, okay, you okay?" At any time, 24/7. That's another feature that we offer that no one else does. So it's like a wellness call in and chat
A
feature
well
that we
check.
offer.
They call it welfare checks, which I always thought
Welfare
was so
check.
funny.
Exactly, and that works for both the pendant and the watch.
Are they different in what they do, the pendant and the watch, besides telling time?
No, they're almost identical in the internal technology. The same systems apply. Just a little different packaging. The watch is the latest, format, the smartwatch type format. But
Does it do other stuff, or is it still just a dedicated to your?
no, your good question. The watch actually does do some other things. I can get it on the screen here. So it's
That's
typical
great.
watch. Anything it does, it doesn't look like a medical alarm watch, number one. But if you scroll different screens here, there we go. You can watch your heart rate, steps. You can actually call your contacts from the watch. And notice how big the icons are.
Mhm.
So they're easy to touch and activate and use, to track your steps and your heart rate.
So
Um,
this is a huge advantage over a regular fancy smartwatch because you don't have to learn all the intricacies of the smartwatch in order to use it. You can just kind of set it up and go.
exactly. It's designed for seniors. And most of the other ones today are not. It's an afterthought, on some of these other watches are, they may have a full feature, but you know, um, it's not the same. The seniors very often don't know how to turn it off or shut it off. And they don't have the control over who it calls the
Yeah.
way ours does.
So tell me, Tom, do you have to buy the equipment outright, or is that something included in the monthly price? How does that work for the individual?
Yeah, no, we have a special arrangement with Assisting Hands, so we've had all along. So you guys get our best preferred pricing. And it's basically $34 a month. The whether you choose the pendant or the watch, it's the same price. You pay your first month up front and you subscribe for as long as you need to subscribe. There's no contracts. And when you're done, you send it back and we close your account. So there's no need to purchase anything, no deposits, no contracts, and you get our best pricing. It's $34 a month.
That's great. That's very reasonable. And one of the things we talked about too are, there's different kinds of falls, and I'm just going to share with you all a little different screen. Share this screen. Okay, so this is let me go to the first page. This is the Safe Guardians informational flyer about facts about falling. And this poor woman is just falling down her stairs because she's got slippery socks on a wooden staircase. Classic.
Right.
And she's okay, she can talk, but she can't necessarily get to her device. So unless she's wearing it on her wrist, right? So then she just hollers out, "Hey, device, call so-and-so," or how does it work?
Well, if she's got the fall alert activated, it would activate automatically in the event it senses a fall. It would connect automatically to her caregivers and let them know. A text message would go out saying fall alert. And also the phone calls to all the caregivers. They can also press the SOS button on the pendant, or they can press on the watch to activate it manually if they can, if it didn't trigger automatically. So there's
So
more than
I
one way.
noticed one of the facts also is about people with hearing loss having a higher fall risk. And part of the problem with someone with hearing loss is that if they don't have their hearing aids in, which usually are Bluetooth to their calling phone, whatever device, they can't hear when somebody calls them back on the SOS. So does that SOS also have a Bluetooth option for going into those hearing aids? Or is there a way to, I don't know, is there a large volume control? I mean, how would the person hear the SOS person?
For those folks with hearing impairment or less than great hearing, we have the ability to adjust the volume levels on the pendant and the watch, so they can be very loud. We don't have any kind of a Bluetooth arrangement. They're self-contained.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
But we can adjust volume for those folks that may need it.
That's great. And then, of course, there's a lot of folks that fall and then are embarrassed to say anything because they know if they fall one more time, their kids are going to put them change their location from home to maybe assisted living or independent living, and they don't want to move. So tell us about this, statistical gathering that goes on with the watch, whether you want it to or not.
Well, with the fall alerts, everybody on the contact list will get a text if a fall is detected. Now, it may be she just dropped the pendant or the watch and there's a false alarm, but that text will go out and it'll start the process. So everybody's going to know something happened. And it may be simple calling up and saying, "Mom, are you okay?" We're just checking in, make sure. You don't have to say, your watch told us so. But at least then you're kind of in the loop to know something's going on. Because yes, we unfortunately we get a lot of stories of seniors that'll be on the floor, fine, they're not hurt, they kind of just went down slowly or whatever. But they'll say, well, I don't want to get the paramedics to the front door and create a hubbub. I'm just going to stay here for about 5 hours till my daughter comes home from work. And they do. And
Yeah.
that's a scary thing for us. They can press their button, call their daughter. Daughter answers, hey, I'm on the floor, I'm fine. You know, can you give me some help? You know, send a neighbor, you know, whatever.
Right.
I don't need emergency assistance.
It's one of the reasons that we actually recommend for our folks who are at risk for fall that they put a keypad door lock on their door, whether it's
Mhm.
the kind that, you know, realtors use or whether they actually change their doorknob. Because one of the most harrowing experiences for some seniors is having an EMT knock down their front door. It's also very expensive.
Yes.
So that, you know, my cousin had symptoms of a heart attack. He called 911. He immediately went to the door, opened it, and then
Mhm.
laid down on the floor, basically, because he was having a heart attack. And he saved his own life. And he
Mm,
saved a lot of money and expense and trauma having the door broken down.
right.
So, you know, another important thing to dovetail with an alarm button is some way to get inside the house, whether it's a friend has a key and you know to call them. A lot of times we talk to families who the kids are in California, the mom's in DC,
Mhm.
in Maryland area, and how do they connect? You know, it takes time and lots of phone calls to make that 3 hour difference work. So
Right. Which is one of the great features because you may have the number one caregiver is the local daughter who goes over every day, but you can have the rest of the family who is halfway across America still get that text message and still be notified something's up with mom. So it keeps the entire circle of care in the loop because a lot of people they want to know, and like you're saying, they don't want to wait an hour or two or a day to find out that mom had an incident or something, you know, dad slipped or whatever.
yeah. So let me ask you this. So I think when we first started working with you, you had the button only.
Mhm.
And now you've got the watch, and I'm sure they've gone through different technology upgrades like every phone in the world.
Mhm.
So what happens if there's a technology upgrade and I still have the equipment I had 2 or 3 years ago? Do I trade that in? Do you initiate that? How does that function? Or is it sort of good to go for longer than iPhones?
Well, the good news is we transitioned to the 4G technology just recently. So everything that's going out right now is all 4G. All older 2G devices have been replaced, swapped out.
Okay,
And
great.
so if necessary, we'll swap it out at no cost because in case of 2G, it just stopped working. And a lot of people with other companies weren't aware that that button that they were wearing wasn't
It
working.
wasn't going to go anywhere.
So in our case, since it is a monthly subscription, we just simply notify you, we're going to send you a new update and do that.
That's so handy. That's great. So
But it's
what
going to be
else
around
should
for a
we,
while. 4G is not going anywhere for a long time. So
yeah, well, and now they're already 5G, so it's kind of crazy. But
yeah.
so tell me what would you want folks to know? What are the like three main things to know about this device that we haven't asked yet? Is there anything left?
Um, one, seniors love it because they know they can reach a family member and it's not a stranger. That's one of the most important things I think that we hear a lot from the families is that mom's afraid not to use it now. Before she was paranoid, you know, all it takes is one false alarm and now she doesn't want to even touch it. Knowing this, that it goes to my daughter, my son, um, much more involved with using it and making use of it for things that again aren't emergencies, and that just means better care. Um, the the fact that it has some other features that we haven't even talked about yet, for those seniors that have Alzheimer's or early dementia, this has a built-in real-time GPS locator, and anybody on the contact list can go in at any time with a little command on their smartphone and locate the device.
That's
So
fantastic.
even if mom's not home, button press where she at, that text message will give a GPS location for her. Maybe she's in the car at the supermarket. These devices are fully mobile, they're nationwide. So they're perfect for folks that are active and mobile, probably more so than the traditional medical alarms where it's kind of like medical emergency or nothing. These are really meant for more independent seniors that, are on the yard gardening, you know.
Yeah.
One of your other offices the other day told me, just the other day, had one of his subscribers had one of our buttons, fell outside in the yard. If the button he was wearing was underneath him, but the fall alert activated automatically, his daughter got the call, she was there in 5 minutes.
That's fantastic.
And that's what, when we get those calls, that's truly why we do what we do. And it's very fulfilling to know that, that he didn't have to lay in his yard for 5 hours waiting for his daughter.
Absolutely.
And
And
that's,
that GPS feature is great because you really do want to just take a peek. You don't want to disturb your mom, but you want to know where she is. Obviously if they're that active, they probably also have a cell phone. So, if you can't for some reason reach them on their cell phone, you might be able to reach them on their watch, their safeguardian watch or medallion. So those are
exactly.
really good things to know. I didn't realize that. That's a great feature. I know
And with the,
I like that feature with my mom, and we just do it through her iPhone. So
well, the other thing too, they're wearing it. So let's say you try to call her cell phone and no one answers.
right.
You can call into the watch or the pendant, it'll answer automatically. It'll ring and answer. And you can say, Mom, are you there? Are you okay? Now keep in mind, she's wearing it. So, if she just is away from her cell phone or whatever, she can say, yeah, I'm fine. She says, just checking,
Right.
I just want to make
As
sure you're
long as she
okay.
can hear it, she can answer it.
Right. And she doesn't have to press the button to answer the call. It'll answer automatically. You can listen in, just make sure, if you hear something strange. But most of the time, folks just use it to call in, make sure they're okay. And that's I think another great feature because it is a worn device. I don't know about you, but I find myself setting my cell phone down everywhere, and seniors do that much more. My teen's got her cell phone glued to her back pocket, but most seniors don't, right? They'll set their phone down, and they'll go about their business. Where this is always with them.
That's great. Well, this is wonderful. I've learned a lot, Thomas, and I know that um, our audience is going to be appreciative of learning how to use the device. And like I said, you can call me or you can call and get directly in touch with Thomas. That's an easy way to start your process for getting a safety alert button, a safety alert watch that will keep you and your family members apprised of your activity.
And make sure you mention this, assisting hands, because like I said, there is a special price. Everybody else pays more.
Okay.
And we want to pass those savings along to you and say thank you to the assisting hands folks that were so nice in putting this together today. And if you have any questions at all, the website's got a lot of information, but give us a jingle. We're always happy to help.
Yeah, thank you so much, Thomas. I appreciate your time today. And I know this is a great service for our community. They will be safer knowing that their family members are safe. So this is great. Thank you
Thank
again.
Patricia. Thank you, Patricia, for all you do.
Thanks.